Welcome to this training on Hlookup. Hlookup is another option for looking up information in Excel. Unlike Vlookup, which uses a vertical lookup, Hlookup uses horizontal lookup to find information. Therefore, the main difference between V and Hlookup is Hlookup uses rows instead of columns to tell Excel where to find the answer. Hlookup is made up of 4 inputs: the lookup value, table array, row index, and range lookup. The only difference between an Hlookup and a Vlookup, again, is that Hlookup uses rows versus Vlookup uses columns. This training provides 2 examples that I will use to walk through each of the 4 inputs which make up the Hlookup function. In the first example, I will use the function arguments box to answer the question, and in the second example, I will actually just use the Hlookup formula to answer the question, so you can see it in 2 different ways. Alright, question 1. How many fulfillment days are needed to receive product A? Now, I have highlighted the word fulfillment days because that is what we're trying to get an answer about. So, being that fulfillment days is what we're seeking our answer about, fulfillment days is our lookup value. It's that simple. So, we're just going to type in fulfillment days right here. The next thing is the table array. The table array is the cell range that will include both our lookup value and our row index. So we need to find what that cell range is and tell Excel what that will be. So in our case, our cell range is for our table that is located right here. Our table begins in cell C8 and ends in cell F12. So our table array, or cell range, is C8 to F12. Our row index is where you tell Excel the answer is located. Now, you need to think of a row index in terms of distance away by the number of rows from the lookup value. So, one thing you must always understand is that the lookup value always equals row 1. So, understanding that, how many additional rows is product A away from the lookup value? So if fulfillment days is our lookup value in row 1, then product A is 1 row beneath the lookup value, so then our row index would be 2, because the fulfillment days is in row 1, our lookup value, and product A is 1 additional row away from fulfillment days, or our lookup value. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. Range lookup. Now, range lookup basically just says, am I okay with Excel providing me an answer that is close or an answer that is exact? Now, if you allow Excel to bring back a close answer, which in some cases this is the right thing to do, if the exact answer isn't in your table, then range lookup will try to find something that's extremely close or similar to be the answer. In this case, though, we're asking for specific information. We want to know the number of fulfillment days needed to receive product A. So that's a very specific answer we're looking for. So we want an exact match. Now, exact match in Excel equals false. Close match in Excel equals true. So what we want to type here is false. These are the 4 inputs of the Hlookup. Now, I said I was going to use the function arguments box to teach this, so we're going to activate our function arguments box. So the first thing you must do is go up here to the FX. This little button is our insert function button. We need to click on it. Secondly, we need to go down here where it says search for a function. This search box, we need to clear out the information in there and type in the word Hlookup and click on go. Then we'll see Hlookup is under the select a function, and so now we need to do is click OK. This box that comes up is the function arguments box. It lists the 4 different inputs of an Hlookup function. Now we've already defined those earlier, but we're just going to walk through them one more time. So the lookup value is what we're trying to find information about. In our case, in question 1, like I said earlier, it is fulfillment days. So we need to put the cell or the word within this box. So we typed the word earlier, but we're just going to click on the cell. So let's hit this up arrow, go over to our table, find fulfillment days, click on it. That is an F8. Come back to our down arrow, and then you'll see F8 is right here, and then the word fulfillment days is off to the side. This lets you know you've done it right. Alright, the second thing is our table array. So remember, this is the cell range that we're looking for. That basically tells Excel where they should be able to locate both the lookup value and the row index within the table. So this is basically the cell range that will house both of those inputs. So let's find our table and tell Excel where the table is located at. So hit this up arrow. Let's highlight C8 through F12 because that is what we said was our table array earlier. And then I'm going to tell you to push F4. And the reason why I'm telling you this is in case you have a big spreadsheet and you're using Hlookup to find the answers to multiple rows of information, then you're going to want to lock this down by using F4, because otherwise your table array could shift and then all the information below your original answer would be incorrect, because it would be starting in the wrong spot and pulling back the wrong information. And this could come back with errors of NA or ref error. Now, our row index, again, I told you that your lookup value is always row 1, and then you have to look in terms of rows away from the lookup value to determine what the row index is. So we know that product A was 1 row beneath the lookup value, so 1 plus 1 equals 2, which is what we said earlier. And then lastly, we would need to tell Excel, do we want the exact answer or a close answer? And we said earlier that we wanted an exact answer. So in this cell, we need to type false. And if you forget which one is which, down here where it says range lookup, it'll tell you that if you want an exact match, type false. And if you're looking for a close match, that equals true. Alright, so before we click OK, if you look right here at the bottom, it says equals 2. That is basically telling us that is the answer that is going to be in our cell when we click OK. It's basically saying that fulfillment days will take 2 days. So we're going to click OK. That's going to come in our box, and then we're going to double check ourselves. So what we need to find is the column fulfillment days in. So we're going to click on column F, and then we're going to look for the row that product A is in, which is that row number is 9, and we're going to click Control and click at the same time. And where those two intersect is the number 2. So our answer was 2. They intersected at 2, so we know we did our Hlookup function correctly. That is question 1's answer. All right. Question 2. What is the quantity available for product D? Well, again, I highlighted in red what is the question all about, which is quantity available, which is our lookup value. So let's put in quantity available right here. Then we need our table array. Well, our table array is going to be the same table we had before. 1, because that's where quantity available is, but 2, it's the only table we have on the page, right? So let's put in our table array range. So C8 to F12. And if you don't remember how we got C8 to F12, let me show you again. C8 is where product starts in our table, and then F12 is where the last number under fulfillment days ends, which is F12. So that's how we get C8 to F12. Row index. Now this is where it's different than in question 1. In question 1, product A was 1 row directly under our lookup value. Now remember, lookup value is always equal to 1 because it's the first row. So now we got to find out how many rows beneath the lookup value is product D. So if quantity available is 1, then product D must be 1, 2, 3, 4 additional rows away from quantity available. So if quantity available is our lookup value and equals 1, then if we add 4 additional rows to find product D, 1 plus 4 equals 5. So our row index is 5, because product D is in the 5th row. Now, our range lookup. Again, we want to have it close, or do we want exact? We have a question that's very exact, so we want to have an exact answer. So we want to put false in this box. Now, those are our 4 inputs that make up our Hlookup function. Now to answer this, we're going to use the actual Hlookup formula. So equals Hlookup, parentheses. First one is lookup value. So our lookup value is quantity available. So we're going to find the cell that that's located in. It's right here in E8. So we're going to push comma. Now we've got to tell Excel where the table that houses the lookup value and the row index is located. So we know that is C8 to F12. We also defined that earlier. And just like in question 1, I'm going to tell you to press F4. Lock that down. Then we're going to put a comma. And then we have to tell Excel where or which row to find the answer within our table. So product D was in the 4 additional rows away from our lookup value. So we put a 5. So we're going to put right here a 5. And then we're going to type the word false because we are looking for an exact match. And if you forget which one is which, by typing in the formula, it tells you true equals approximate match, false equals exact match. And we want exact. So now we're going to close out and press enter. According to this, our answer should be 7,000. So we're going to go up here to the column that quantity available is, and we're going to click on row E. And then we're going to go to the row that product D is, and we're going to see where the 2 intersect. Well, they intersect on 7,000. So, being that 7,000 is our intersection point, that must be our answer. And we came up with 7,000, so we know we did our Hlookup formula correctly. All right, I've walked you through 2 different examples, one using the function arguments box and another using the actual Hlookup function. So those are the two ways to use Hlookup and to find your answer. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And have a nice day.